Yo, welcome back to another Borderlands 4 kind of discussion, shit-chatting session. Today I want to go over some of the storylines or like mysteries still left unsolved or inconcluded in the Borderlands series. I'm hoping for some of these to be explained more throughout the story or even just through the end game when Borderlands 4 launches in September. Just before we get into it, if you like these kind of videos, feel free to leave a sub, leave a comment, like, just anything that can help out the channel would be perfect. Making more videos like this quite consistently and making constant videos when Borderlands 4 releases in September. So first things first, for stories that I want some closure on is the Watcher. For those who don't know who the Watcher is, in Borderlands pre-sequel, the Watcher pops up at the start of the campaign when Jack is trying to get off the Hyperion moon base. The Watcher drops down, stops some bullets and calls us a naughty boy. After that we are left confused as to why a creepy Iridium mummy or daddy just saved Zarpedon, our enemy. Don't get me wrong, there's a little lore surrounding the Watcher, but I'm more curious as to what role does he play in the next game, because I'm sure as hell didn't do anything in Borderlands 3, he was barely there, there was only a couple little bits about him throughout that entire game. The question is why and what are the motives? It's believed that the Watcher already knows what's going to happen throughout the course of the games, later showing up at the end of the game in Borderlands pre-sequel, saving Athena from Lilith's firing line. Talking about needing all the Vault Hunters we can get and there's a war coming.
People like her, our friends might still be alive. Ready?
This ain't us, Lil. This ain't you.
Fire! What the hell?
Now is not the time for biggery, Vault Hunters. War is coming, and you will need all the Vault Hunters you can get.
Like, through the story of Borderlands 3, we expect the Watcher to show up and ultimately nothing happens. When is the war going to happen? What is the war? Is it even real? Because Borderlands 3 didn't feel like a war. It felt more like a race against some just annoying teenagers. Borderlands 4 is looking quite promising for a war, and we know that the Watcher is making a return. I've seen a couple of clips of it, so only time will tell if the story is going to get some closure or resolution, whether we see this war actually played out, and whether that is the Borderlands 4 story, or even just the endgame. Following on from this is another interesting one that relates to the Watcher again. The kind of two stories merged into one here, and this one is around the warning of the 7th siren. Ever since Borderlands 2, the law has been set for only 6 sirens to be allowed in the universe at one given time. Until Borderlands 3, despite its bad main storyline, the collectible Nereid logs hidden around the world offer us some insight and lore regarding the sirens, warning us of a 7th siren and telling us to never find them.
You know now all that I know. This was an epitaph, not for myself, but for the world I knew. I have brought ruin to the Sirens, murdered the Iridians, and imprisoned a primordial force of the universe. Perhaps I have earned your hatred, or your sympathy. But that is not why I write these words. I have told you the truth, no matter its hard edges. Before I can put my fractured mind to rest, I must pass one more warning. You must never find the 7th.
Okay, I'm going to kind of go on a little bit of a tangent here, but in the past we are led to believe that 6 sirens can exist, and when one dies, another is chosen with the same if not very similar power. Now, knowing that Vex is our 6th siren power that we know of, it leads us to think that it's Commandant Steele's power that we didn't get to see in Borderlands 1, RIP Steele. I guess my question is to this, is who is the 7th? Because in theory it could be any of them. Any of them could be that 7th siren. For all we know, Vex's siren powers could be completely new and not what Steele had. What happens when we find them? Or are we even gonna find them? That's kind of my question for this whole thing. The reason I bring the Watcher back into this is because there's a story that I'm sure most people know by now, which involves the Watcher saving a girl called Emily Swan and her mother, telling them to evacuate the moon. There's a theory that the Watcher made Emily Swan a siren, and I could kind of buy that idea. Making her the 7th but also first artificial siren could be the one Nereid warned us about. And if we did find her, or the power descended from her, what will happen? We know that sirens are eternally drawn to each other, and they will always find their way back to one another. So where's the 7th been this whole time? Has the 7th been locked up? Did Nereid lock her up just to keep her away? Because surely by now they would have been drawn to each other like the rest of them have. I also want to quickly touch on the idea of siren powers changing when moving to another person. This idea comes from the fact that Vex's siren powers don't really seem to match Steel's vibe at all. I'm wondering, like, do they change even if only slightly person to person based on personality and drive? An example for this is Vex is like a goth kind of vibe and her abilities reflect that quite well. But if it's Steel's old power, I just couldn't imagine her summoning dead reapers everywhere. Maybe she was kind of a summoner, but to say, I don't know, Atlas soldiers or something like that. I have too many questions and not enough answers, which makes me more excited to get my hands on Borderlands 4 and find out what it has to offer, whether we're going to get these stories full closure or anything like that. I guess only time will tell. There is a lot more to these stories and, you know, ideas, theories, but I didn't want to go into too much detail about these loose ends at the moment. I didn't want a stupidly long video, nice and quick, easy to digest, but I did want to get the ball rolling on some of these thoughts. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Might try and get a Rafa build video out this week too if I can. Feel free to hit that sub button and comment down below. What do you think is going to go down in Borderlands 4? Catch you in the next one. Have a good day.